Do you have what it takes to save humanity? You and your teammates will travel across the globe treating infections while finding resources to cure diseases. Today's game, distributed by ZMAN Games, was created by Leacock and features art by Quiliams. It is a cooperative game for 2 to 4 players where you will try to cure 4 diseases before they become a global pandemic. First, we will lay out the board. Then place the infection rate marker on the first spot of the infection rate track. Note that this is a 2 and does not go in numerical order. Then place the outbreak marker at 0 on the outbreak track. Next, put the 6 research stations near the board. Place 1 on Atlanta, home of the CDC, to begin with. I will talk more about the research stations later. The disease cubes will be placed next to the board in 4 piles. We are using these trays we got from the On the Brink expansion, but there are similar Petri dish containers. Both have links down in the description. Then place the cure markers, eradication side down over their corresponding diseases. Shuffle the infection card deck. They have this back. And place them here. We do an initial infect by pulling the top 3 cards and placing 3 disease cubes of the corresponding color on the cities. Then pull 3 more cards, but this time only put 2 disease cubes for each card. And we do it once more with 1 disease cube this time. So you should now have 9 cards in your discard and plenty of pesky diseases to start your fight against. The player deck, which has this back, consists of city cards, event cards, and epidemic cards. To start, set aside the epidemic cards. We will add them in a little bit. Shuffle the remaining cards and deal each player their starting number. 4 in a 2-player game, 3 for a 3-player game, and 2 for a 4-player game. I'll set up for a 2-player game. We will add the epidemic card next. To start with, add 4 epidemic cards. But if you want to make it more difficult, we have 6. Split the player deck into as many piles as your difficulty, so 4, and then randomly place 1 epidemic card per pile. And then stack them on top of each other to get a completed player deck and place it here on the board. Randomly choose a roll card and place their corresponding pawn at the CDC in Atlanta. I'll talk a little bit more about the rolls in a little bit. Setup is now complete. Each player's turn is divided into 3 parts. Do 4 actions, draw 2 player cards, and then infect cities. First is do up to 4 actions. You can do any action, unless specifically stated, as many times as you would like, counting it as an action each time. You have the movement actions, drive, moving your pawn to a city connected to it, direct flight, discard a city card to move your pawn to the listed city, charter flight, discard the city card of the city you are currently in and move to any city. Shuttle flight, move from a city with a research station to another city with a research station. Then you have other actions. Build a research station. Discard the city card that matches the city you are in and place a research station there. Now, there are only 6 research stations, so when building more, you move any research station to its new city. Treat disease. Remove 1 disease cube from the city you are in. Once a disease is cured, you remove all disease cubes of that color. Once all disease cubes of a cured disease are removed from the board, it is eradicated, and you flip the disease marker to its eradicated side. Eradicating a disease means no new disease cubes of that color are placed. Share knowledge allows a player to either give the matching city card of a city you are in to another player in that city, or to take the matching city card from a player in the city. If doing so puts you above the hand limit of 7, immediately discard to the hand limit. Discover a cure. At any research station, discard 5 cards of the same color from your hand to cure the disease of the same color. Move the disease marker to its cure indicator. You don't need to memorize all of these actions. Pandemic has supplied a handy reference card for each player. There are 7 roll cards. The contingency planner is able to pull from his experience and the discard pile to reuse event cards. The dispatcher's skill in personnel management allows her to move another player to a city with another player, or to move another player like it's their own. The medic's triage experience allows for his treat disease action to eliminate a disease from his location. Once a disease is cured, his mere presence eliminates it. The operations expert is the go-to individual for the deployment of research stations. He can use an action to build a station wherever he is without the use of cards, and once per turn, he can use an action to move a research station anywhere by discarding any card. The quarantine specialist is an expert at minimizing the spread of contagions and prevents placement of disease cubes, as well as outbreaks in the city she is in and any city connected to it. The researcher is adept at distributing knowledge, allowing her to share any knowledge wherever she may be. The scientist's extensive education uniquely prepared her to need 1 less card when discovering a cure. For more information about your role, read the description on the roll card. Pairing everyone's unique action and abilities provide powerful combinations that are highly effective at battling diseases. Next is draw 2 cards from the player deck. If you are unable to draw 2 cards, the game ends and you have lost. If you draw an epidemic card, resolve it immediately. First, you will increase the infection rate 1 space on the infection rate tracker. Next, draw the bottom card from the infection deck and put 3 disease cubes on that city. If there's already a disease cube, make it so that there are 3 of that color and an outbreak will occur. I'll go over outbreak shortly. Discard that card to the infection discard pile. Then shuffle the infection discard pile and put it on top of the infection deck. It is rare, but you can draw 2 epidemic cards. Do all the steps twice, once for each card. Once an epidemic card is resolved, remove it from the game, and you do not draw a replacement city card for them. There is a hand limit of 7 cards. If after drawing and resolving any epidemic cards, you are above the hand limit, you must discard or play an event card to get you down to 7. Event cards can be played at any time on anyone's turn except between drawing a card and resolving that card. The last step of your turn is the infect phase. Flip over as many infection cards as infection rate. That is the number under your infection rate marker. Draw 1 card at a time to infect a city. 1 disease cube of matching color will go onto the city unless the disease is eradicated. Cities can only have 3 disease cubes of the same color. If you should add a 4th cube, don't, and instead an outbreak will occur. That card will still count as one of your infection cards and go into the discard pile. Outbreaks. An outbreak happens instead of adding a 4th disease cube of the same color to a city. First, move the outbreak marker 1 space on the outbreak track. Then each city connected to the outbreak city gets a single disease cube of that color. This can lead to other outbreaks called chain reaction outbreaks. For each outbreak in the chain reaction, move the outbreak marker 1 spot and place a single disease cube on connecting cities that have not had an outbreak this turn. It is important to note that outbreaks happen when a 4th disease cube of the same color is going to be added, but more than 3 disease cubes of different colors can be on a city. If you reach the skull and crossbones on the outbreak track, the game ends and you lose. That is 1 turn, and gameplay continues clockwise. To win the game, all diseases need to have a cure, only. They do not need to be eradicated. You will lose the game, though, if you cannot draw 2 player cards, you run out of disease cubes needed, or the outbreak tracker reaches the last space. You are now ready to play Pandemic. This is one of my favorite co-op games. We're always looking for new co-op games, so if you have a favorite, let us know down in the comments. And as always, if you like what we're doing, hit that like button. And remember to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get reminders of our newest videos.